I still got the light of the Kyries. Checking myself, y'all. So, let's get into this ancient of days, man. What we thought we knew, we don't know. Look at that face and that bearded one. And that crown of that inky. And that little priest hat. And you see that little body on the Sephiroth of the trap. I mean, if numbers can make words, then we can see images in numbers and words. Wow. Let's get ready to rumble!
Shalom everyone. In today's video, we will be completing Technical Gate 20, 21, and 22. As with all of these videos, at the beginning introduction theme, there's a QR code presented, which will give you a complete free PDF copy of this Sefer. It's also available on Amazon and bookbaby.com. I'll be posting a link in the comment section down below to a WhatsApp group where announcements will be made.
Thank y'all for hitting that like button. Thank y'all. Get up in the truth while we in the booth. Social media booth. What's the use though? Everybody wanna tell a lie, wanna televise. Everybody wanna think that they wise, but they not wise. Wanna tell lies and tell. Sleep with everybody wise, telling lies. Televise all around. Sad light. Special light and ignite that fire, right? BC on the track. Rapping on the instrumentals, fundamentals, giving you something for the mental. Spiritual.
Last video,
yeah,
we discussed the
Let's get
and concluded here on page 213. So in today's video, we will be beginning page 14. We will now discuss the reason as to why the neck is linear as opposed to another. We have already declared that the endless entered in the secret of a circular aspect and descended in the secret of a linear aspect. Thus, when the light, in example, the linear aspect of the light strikes the heart spark, in example, the 231 gates, which are the 22 letters, and the circular aspect on the smallest level, it causes the 7 kings that emerge from the spark, in example, the circular aspect, to fall in a linear aspect, this being the 7 bones of the neck. And this is what is written regarding the matter. Pharaoh was stiff-necked. This is because he collectively are these 7 kings. Now, we have declared the emergence of the 7 letters with 3 tagen, in example, the 7 kings, Shin, Tet, Nun, Ain, Zain, Sadi, and Gimel. We will now explain the emergence of the 6 letters with 1 tagen. The light of the endless, after striking the heart spark, became imprinted by the sockets in which the 7 kings formerly were. An example, the heart spark. The light having been imprinted in the formation of what would be Zerampin and the body of the ancient Holy One, then descended in a linear aspect through the vessels of the 7 kings, which are the 7 letters that emerged and fell in that place. As Zohar Book 11, the concealed book states, the kings died without weapons.
And the biblical aspect of 7 kings, 1 in the 8th that's coming, which is here now by the time, that was what was written. It said he was already in rule. He got a wound on his head. All right.
And were hung in a place where they were not before. Now this light, after having been imprinted by the heart spark, and having descended to each of the 7 kings that were in the fallen linear aspect, in example, the vessels of the neck, it made repairs to each in the secret of their tagging as discussed in its place. Now, when this light emerges through the malchus of the linear fallen 7 kings, it emerges, and immediately the light expands to the boundary of its new restricted limits. The light then formed in the secret of the imprinted vessels that were imprinted upon it when passing through the heart spark and filling the sockets of the face. Thus we find that when the light of the endless descended and struck the hard spark, which caused the initial emergence of the seven kings of Edom, which are the first rectifications of the letters, and they are the seven with three tagging. And they emerge in a circular aspect from the hard spark. We learned that the hard spark was the secret of the 22 letters, which are the 231 gates. And so our skull has exactly 22 bones. We learned that the emergence of the seven kings came from this place, and so we have 7 holes in our skull. We learned that they emerge in a circular aspect and descend in a linear aspect, and that these that descended in a linear aspect, which sometimes is called the world of Tohu, is the secret of Pharaoh, because Pharaoh, Seruft, meaning when you rearrange the letters, is Araf, meaning neck. Thus, when the light emerged from the Malchus of this linear aspect, it descended and expanded into its new restricted limits, having been imprinted by the initial light of its emergence, in example, Zerampin. And so we find that the exact parsuf of Zerampin, which is synonymous with the 6 letters with a single tagen, is equivalent with our torso. Now, what's important to understand about this is that we are collectively analyzing and viewing the emergence of the 22 Hebrew letters. In this instance, we are looking at the 7 with 3 tagen, the 6 with 1 tagen, and then we will be analyzing those with 0 tagen. And so this entire construct of the ancient Holy One is being revealed only through the emergence of the letters. So we continue on page 217. When the light passed through the Malchus of the spark of the linear fallen 7 kings, which are the vessels of the neck, the light expanded to the boundary of its newfound limits, and there the light formed 6 vessels, which were the secret of the 6 points of the body. And in these 6 vessels, which form after the likeness of the imprinted light, emerged the letters Beit, Dalet, Che, Het, Yud, and Kof, which each have 1 tagen, in that they draw their light from 1 point, an example, the Malchus of the kings. Now, these vessels would not endure, and they, like the 7 sparks, they were imprinted and emerged in this likeness, would break. From the breaking of these vessels would emerge the spiritual organs.
Breaking of vessels. Jeremiah chapter 18. Can I, like the potter hand, smash down the old kingdom with vessels and build a new, which we all know I speak a new kingdom, not made with hands, of any kind of spirit, soul, physical man. Yeah.
Akik Yomin, an example, the Ancient of Days. Now, the hard spark above it we know was the surrounding endless and the restriction, and of course then the hard spark. And when these letters emerge, they have the secret of 3 tagen, because the 3 tagen, as explained earlier, was Kether, Chochma, and Bina, or Ein, Sof, and Sofor. When this light descends through the linear aspect of the kings that fell, which is the secret of the neck, the 6 letters emerge, and they went to their limits. Now they have 1 tagen because they only receive from this 1 restriction, as opposed to the...
So Christian, catch you up. This is the rib 1 foundated, the Y, Yahuwah, the woman in Lagat, not that.
Upper 3 heads. An example, the 7 that died without the weapons, which have 3 tagen. These, as opposed, only have 1 tagen, and it was explained because they draw their light only from the Malchus of the kings. And accordingly, we find that they created in the secret of these spiritual organs, and these spiritual organs are not to be seen as literal organs, but rather the shorosh, or archetypal roots, as they are in the secret of the letters. Now, these 6 vessels, which are the secret of these 6 letters with 1 tagen, would break, an example, not endure the light passing through them from the endless. The breaking of these vessels would create spiritual organs. An example, Chesed would create the liver. An example, the Zohar states, Satan is the liver. And the secret of, as it is written, Satan stands to the right to accuse. An example, the liver, which is the right of the body. This is the reason why the organs are destroyed, in that they were formed from destroyed vessels. And carefully analyze my words, and let us continue to adorn the king with his tagines, crowns. So thus we find that the light of the endless poured in through the kings into these lower six. And when these lower six received this light, they broke, just as the kings before them broke. And it was as if they had died. And from them were created vessels. And these vessels are the spiritual organs. And we learned here regarding the liver that it was created from the destroyed vessel of Chesed. And that these vessels are the secret of the spiritual organs of the Atik. Page 220. And we see diagrams that explain the matter. 7 letters with 3 tagin are the 7 kings. 6 letters with 1 tagin create 6 vessels. The 6 vessels break and linear light emerges. The 6 broken vessels create 6 spiritual organs of the Atik Omen. Now, the linear light passes through the broken vessels from the linear aspects of our arms, our legs, etc. And this is what we'll be discussing here. Now, the light that emerged from these 6 broken vessels emerged in the secret of the linear aspect. This is because the endless first restricted in the secret of a circular aspect. Then the surrounding endless descended in the secret of the linear aspect to strike the hard spark, formed of 22 letters, which is a circular aspect, by which 7 kings emerge, and these 7 kings then descend in a linear aspect, by which the light then descends in a linear aspect. It emerges through the malchus of the kings in the linear aspect to form 6 vessels of the body, which are a circular aspect. These vessels would break, and so the light that passes through is linear. An example, the skeletal structure of the arms, legs, spine, etc. Take careful time to consider what was just said. The light passing through these vessels is the secret of Yud-Kei-Vav-Kei, an example, Chochmah. And the ends of this light will be the secret of the hands and feet.
The light passing through the vessels, the secret of Yahuwah. The spirit Akma, or wisdom. The reflection of the wisdom of a man is his wife, the bride.
As discussed in its place. And what remained after these 6 emerge are the remaining 9 without tagin, and they spell the phrase single Sefer Malchus. It is not depicted here, but the upper endless and its restriction was in the secret of a circular aspect. And when the Ora Yashar descended, it descended in the secret of a linear aspect. And the hard spark was in the secret of a circular aspect. And when the straight light struck the hard spark, it caused the 7 kings to emerge.
Flower of life.
And they descended in a linear aspect.
7
And
menorahs.
when this light descended, it took the form of a circular aspect.
Wandering
And when
stars.
these vessels broke, it took the shape of these organs, which was a circular
Physical body.
aspect. And these in turn emerge in the secret of a linear aspect. So we find that they're rotating, circular, linear, circular, linear, circular, linear. And so we find that at the extremities of these points, we find linear aspects in the secret of the arms, the legs, the reproductive organ, etc. Now the 9 letters that remain without the tagin, which are the 9 remaining of the 22, because 7 plus 6 plus 9 equals 22. They are Aleph, Sefer, Malchus, or single Sefirot Malchut. These 9 are the secret of the dust, which is Malchus. Of these letters, it was stated, man was formed from the dust. The king has now been adorned by all 22 letters in the secret of Tagin, crowns, and we will continue to adorn his glories. Behold, King Solomon, the crown his mother crowned him. Because the hard spark was the secret of Bina. And behold, King Solomon, meaning the lower Zerampin and the Arith, so on and so forth. And how all of this was formed in the secret of the crowns. And so in the beginning, we discussed the secret of the letters in their various stages. We learned how there were fronts and backs of the Sfirot, We learned the concept of the tree of the face and the Kepha, the tree of the body, as revealed through 231 gates. And then we learned the adornment of the king as it relates to the crowns of the letters. And so just as we learned in the very beginning the secret of the 22 letters, so too here are we learning the secret of the 22 letters. Except the only difference is that we're analyzing 22 letters through the lenses of the various crowns, which are called adornments, that being the 7 letters with 3 lines being those tagim, the 6 with a single tagim, and the 9 down here, which have no tagim, that spell Aleph Sefer Melchus. Collectively, they are 22. And so with this, we have rendered the secret of the king's adornments with the 22 letters in another way. So we find here, technical gate 21, the 7 archangels. The sockets remained above in the heart spark, and as the endless light entered into these sockets, they filled in, creating the 7 angels that stand before Hashem. The word before, or paneh, literally means paneh, face. They are as follows: Chesed, Gevura, Tifras, Netzach, Hod, Yisod, and Malchus, and these being the light of his face. Thus we find the Shorosh of these angels, Michael, Gavriel, Oriel, Noriel, Boel, Raphael, and Adoniel. That is because despite the fact that the 7 kings had emerged, the sockets had remained above. And when the light of the endless poured into this place, it became what was called Or Pani, or the light of the face, that being the light of the eyes, Chesed Gevura, light of the nose, the ears, the mouth, etc. We see on the bottom right here an example of the Shorosh, or root, of these angels. And they are called the 7 angels that stand before him, because the word Pane, or before, means face. Technical gate 22. The light of the endless that poured in through the spark, which gave its color to the shades or sparks below, emerged in the secret of 27 kinds of light. During the 231 gates, 5 final letters permuted with the addition of the 22 letters, and they became 27. Thus, when the light emerged from the heart spark, it shined with 27 kinds of lights, all of which were a type of spark.
Light is your orb position. So you already being placed, but they keep you focusing on creation. I don't care about this material world, man. You showing me my throne seat, man. I need to keep focusing on that, because whatever man believes in his heart, that will be his destiny.
These sparks, which were worlds that first existed but did not endure, are called Olam Akudim, the universe of Akudim. They are the secret of the 27 cantillation marks corresponding to these 27 letters that differentiated its light. They are demonstrated in their fullness in the above tikkun. Those who are similar with the past of the true mysteries will find the essence of my statements here, having entered wisdom and left wisdom in peace, being complete in all regards. Thus we know that as the light descended in from the surrounding endless through the Simsum and entered into the heart spark, the 231 gates is in the secret of the 22 letters. However, during the emergence of these gates, 5 Sophite letters come into existence, and they are the 5 final letters, sometimes being called judgments. We can see them listed here as Sophite Kaf, Sophite Mem, Sophite Nun, Sophite Fe, Sophite Sadi. When these 5 stern judgments were intermingled with the remaining 22 letters.
Stop your 5 books of the law, Mayat to the Kemet, Tiamat to the Timerian or Sumerian, and Akkadian.
There was a total of 27. And as the light emerged from this place, it emerged broken, meaning it was not completely rectified. And this was the first phases of the divine world of Atzilus. And it was called Olam Akudim. And so, adjacent to these 22 letters and their 5 Sophites, being 27, are the 27 cantillation marks. And these cantillation marks represent the vessels that were destroyed, and before tikkun and rectification, the most archetypal forms of the world of Atzilus. In our next video, we will go through Technical Gate 23 and discuss the beard of Arik Ein Pen. With that being said,
thank y'all for coming out to HSE-TV Entertainment. Right there is Restoration of the Breach on YouTube. Again, Restoration, zoom in, of the Breach. And so you can see the trickery for real, the foolery by foolery. I'm saying the coonery buffoonery, man. All right, so y'all enjoy your night, day, morning, or grand solar rising. Nobody's mourning because nobody dies unless you're not making it in. So grand solar rising, good afternoon, buenos dias, buenas noches, buenas tardes to the Spanish. All right, braca, braca, always Kairis, bless you. All right, to the Christian and the brakas, to the Hebrew. All right, and assalamu alaikum to the Islam, mu'ashalim, right, all mean peace. Make sure that you send forth peace, ashe, ishe, to my peoples, the rest around the world, or namaste. Until next time.